Hello, this is Robert Hunt, Superintendent of Chagrin Falls Schools, and I am with two of our tremendous eighth graders, Alex and Libby. How are you girls doing today?
I'm
Good, how
good.
are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I should tell you, I did go to Mrs. DeSenza and say, give me some really awesome kids to talk to from the middle school, and your two names came up. So you must be doing something right.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
So it's a pretty special week. We're in the eighth week of virtual learning. I know you probably don't feel like it, but it's been 8 weeks already.
Wow.
But it's also Staff Appreciation Week. So we want to take some time to reflect upon, the people that are making a positive impact on our students in the district. And I had this grand idea that I would talk to different students and see what they thought. So before I jump in and kind of ask you to roll through some of your favorite teachers, um, just from your perspective, in thinking about your teachers over the years, kind of what separates teachers and what makes them really, stand above and beyond others and really makes an impact on you. So I don't know, Libby, you want to try to answer that first?
Yeah, I think it's really important for the teachers to challenge you and ask you the hard questions that can help you become a better student. And with academically and personally, just things that can help you improve in all your areas of life.
All right. All right. Alex, you want to jump in?
Yeah, for me, it's a little different, although I do agree. I like building relationships with my teachers, and it's almost like I can come to them for anything I need. That's mainly why I chose the teachers I chose, but I think it's more so like their compassion for their job and how it really shows.
Yeah, so that relationship piece is really tough right now. We talk a lot about how do we maintain this in that virtual world. So, that's one of the biggest challenges is we can push out content and make you complete different websites and all of that, but it's hard to keep that relationship. Although I heard you were both up at 8 a.m. talking to a teacher this morning. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right, well, let's deal with that. I think that 8 a.m. teacher may have made both of your lists. So I will, let's start with Alex. And why don't you cover your first teacher? Now, one, I'm sure there's more than three if I'd let you choose more than three, right? Is that true?
Yes,
And
yeah.
then two, um, you certainly can, you had the freedom to pick whoever you want, right? And these are no rank order.
No.
Okay. So, Alex, let's talk about that 8 a.m. teacher first.
All
Um,
right.
who is that, and why did you choose that individual to kind of share with today during Teacher Appreciation Week?
So, Mr. Braun is Libby and I's teacher. He's been our teacher seventh grade and eighth grade, and we both chose him because he really makes class enjoyable and fun. And you never know what you're gonna get when you walk into his class. He's very patient, and like last year, we would go in to see him every day during lunch. He would help us with our homework, and he's very understanding. I know what he teaches might not always be the easiest for kids to grasp, but he really talks you through it and like will sit down with you, and he seems like he really cares.
Awesome. Libby, you want to add to that? Because I think Mr. Brown was on your list as well, right?
Yeah, Mr. Braun is definitely one of my favorite teachers. He really helped me when I came in seventh grade. Math was an okay subject for me, but it definitely wasn't my favorite. But he is so passionate about what he teaches, and you can just tell that he loves to do it. So that really helped me learn more about math, and now it's my favorite class. And he really cares about his students, and he likes to make it personal for them. Like on some of the Zoom meetings now, I know it's 8 a.m. for his calls, which are kind of early, but he keeps kids wanting to come because he does fun things like he introduced us to his cat and his daughter, and he just makes class really fun. And also, math is definitely a tough subject. You have to really learn how to grasp the concepts, but he teaches in a way that it's not, he doesn't do super long lectures, but he keeps our attention and just works really hard to make sure that every student understands what he's teaching.
Well, that's some great things. You talked about relationships. You talk about having fun. Someone who's there and committed, during lunch and beyond the kind of just the 45 or 50-minute class period. So, great selection, ladies. Now we're we're gonna change it up a little bit between the two of you. Alex, why don't you go with your second individual that you kind of identified?
Sure. I chose Miss Dean, who was my 7th grade science teacher. And although I'm in 8th grade now, I still can go and talk to her. I always stop by her class. And I think that's what made her really stand out to me was our relationship. And with our whole class, you can just tell, like, it was just so fun to walk into her class and to talk with her, and you felt so comfortable. And she always allowed science to be a whole lot more interesting, even though, like, people like me, science isn't my favorite subject, but it's more fun when she teaches it. So I think that was really, like, made her stand out. That's why I chose her.
Yeah, I go. So when I walk around the district, sometimes I always try to stop by Mrs. Dean's class because I know I'm always going to get a smile, maybe a hug out of it, but certainly a smile and make me feel better. And I get that sense that that's kind of the culture in that class on, every single day for kids.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Great choice. Libby, we're going back over to you now with teacher number 2 here. Who do you have?
I have Miss Fenton. So she is the middle school art teacher. And I think all the kids love her because she's super fun and just her class environment. She gets to know all the students really well. And while we're doing all of our different art projects, she has 2 long tables in her room. And she makes it so that we have big group class discussions while we're doing our art. So she'll ask us about our personalities, what we like to do, our families, sports. And then in turn, she'll tell us some fun stories from her career and stuff that she likes to do. She's a really interesting person and has a bunch of fun stories to tell. But not only is she fun to be around, but she challenged me. She helped me see that I shouldn't just do a decent job with things, but I should be the best I can be. For example, whenever I would finish an art project, I would think I finished it, and I would take it up and show it to her and tell her that I think I'm done with it. But then she would ask me, well, is there anything else you can add to make this better or improve upon it? And usually there was something I could find. So she kind of taught me to go back and assess the things that I do and see how I can make it better and not just accept the first draft, but work harder for things, which I think that was a really important lesson to learn.
Yeah, those are great qualities in a teacher, especially someone who kind of continues to push and believe you, not in a negative way, but just kind of help you be the best you can be. What a compliment that is. And specific to art, you reminded me, I was in middle school, not an art guy at all, not an art student at all, but you kind of reminded me of the culture and the ease in that environment where you can, whether, depending on your talent level, really didn't matter. It was, were you trying hard? Were you pushing yourself creatively? And then that vibe and the conversation with other students and the teacher. So awesome pick, Libby, for sure. All right. So I limited you to 3. And we are now on number 3. Alex, you're gonna jump buildings on us, aren't you here?
Yeah, a couple buildings.
All right, go for it.
All right, Mr. Wise is my 3rd pick. He is my 1st-grade teacher, and the reason I chose him was because 1st grade was a long time ago, but he still has a lasting impact on me. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met, and he shows that learning can be fun. And I think the reason that, like, school is so enjoyable for me is because I grew up in his classroom, and it's just so nice to have someone like him who I can always reach out to and who's always improving himself and just genuinely being a friend, even though he's a teacher too.
Wow, what a great description, and that it has kind of stayed with you this long, and you kind of carry that attitude. Certainly speaks to the impact he has made, and the elementary teachers can make long term. And look at all that you guys become based on their work. So thank you for that. And I think, Libby, you're going to jump building too, right?
I am.
All right.
To the
So
intermediate
share your
school.
last one for me.
So my last one is Mrs. Owen, and she was my 6th grade language arts teacher. And actually, Alex's description of Mr. Wise kind of reminds me of Mrs. Owen, because she's just one of those teachers who I'll never forget. She is so kind and loving, and she made learning so much fun. she would do these little songs to help us remember things like vocabulary and to help us remember to put up our chairs at the end of the day. So coming into her classroom was just a joy, and everybody always looked forward to her class. But not only was she a super nice teacher, but she challenged us and stretched us and taught me that I could do things that I wouldn't have thought before I could do. For example, we did this one project in our class where we had to write a novel in a month, which is kind of a big feat for a sixth grader. And going into it, I never thought I would be able to finish it, but she helped us through and showed us that we could accomplish things that we wouldn't normally think we could do.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm probably still waiting to finish my first novel here, so that's pretty impressive. Um, Guys, you have really shared some characteristics that certainly make, really quality, great teachers, and I appreciate you giving your feedback. And, one more big shout out to Mr. Braun, Mrs. Dean, Mr. Wise, Mrs. Fenton, and Mrs. Owen as well. So thank you for doing that. Before I let you run, I have also been trying to get just feedback from students on how they're doing. We certainly miss you guys. But how is this whole kind of virtual learning experience going for you? Maybe talk about some of the things that are going well and then some of the challenges that you're having. So, Alex, if you want to kick us off.
Sure. Well, I think it teaches us to adapt to new situations, which is obviously a plus. Time management plays a big role in this new online world, and it allows time for other activities. But I think our teachers are doing the best they possibly can, and you can really tell that they're very passionate, even if it is online. And like you were talking about earlier, I still feel like I have a relationship with them, and hopefully we can see them soon.
Yeah, definitely. Libby, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, well, I agree with Alex. This has a big part to play in time management, and I feel like it's teaching me a lot, and I'm growing from this experience. I like that we have flexibility in when we can do our work. Like, I'm kind of a morning person, so I like to try to get up and get it done so I can have more free time in the afternoon. But a hard part of it is I really miss seeing all of my teachers and my friends and classmates. I just miss the social interactions of it, and I'm sad that we're missing out on all of the end of the year festivities because I
Sure.
know the teachers and Mrs. DeSenza and Mr. Patterson work really hard to plan that out.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know what, Alex, what's been a struggle for you, or what do you miss?
Well, like Libby was saying, I miss just like the face-to-face interaction with everyone, although the teachers are doing the best they possibly can. And some subjects are harder to learn online than others. Like I know for me, a couple weeks ago, math was a little difficult, but of course, Mr. Braun came and helped immediately, posted a ton of videos and tutorials. But I think probably just the hardest thing is not seeing everyone and missing out on the end of the year stuff like Libby was saying.
Gotcha. So here's a question I asked, and I didn't prepare you for this one, so get ready, ladies. If I gave you the superintendent wand, which is officially a red pen, apparently, um, and we could come back to school, would anything change from going through this experience? Would you change how we structure school or look at school, or would you say no, Mr. Hunt, just bring it back the way it was completely? It was fine. So just your thoughts on that, Libby.
I don't know if I would change anything, but I think it would make us just appreciate school more. And it would make us appreciate the little things like saying hi to teachers in the hallways and being able to see them. I don't think I would change anything, though. I like it the way that it is.
Okay. Alex?
I agree with Libby completely. I mean, if you were to tell me that we were going back to school, I would be jumping up and down. I'd be so excited. And I think after this, it really teaches us to not take this stuff for granted, which is a great lesson. So I think that we all just need to recognize how important and valuable school is to us.
So what I'm hearing is when we return, you two are never going to complain about not having a snow day.
Oh, maybe a few more.
I got you. Well, ladies, you certainly have taken this task very seriously, and you were thoughtful. extremely articulate. I really appreciate your taking the time to share some of your experiences with us. And just like you said, you miss school. We miss you guys. We miss our students and the energy of school. I don't think anyone thinks this is the ideal situation, but thanks for helping me kind of bring a special message to some teachers and for everything you're doing at home as well. I really appreciate everything.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Hunt.
All right. You guys take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
You
All
too.
right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.